Hello and welcome. So this video has been put together to explain to you how we at PMO2DAY can help you get that project management role. Okay, so a bit about PMO2DAY. PMO2DAY is owned and run by myself, Tayo Richards. I live in the UK. I'm married with three grown children. And Also, I am what is usually referred to as a change consultant. I currently work for one of the top management consultants based here in the United Kingdom. Our consultancy is very focused on transformation, change, technical change, business change, major change for our clients, and we manage that and see that through, take them on that journey. In addition to that, I own and run PMO2DAY. PMO2DAY, amongst other things, trains and mentors new professionals that are coming into the project management environment. One of the tools that I use to guide my clients on this journey are the PMO2DAY courses. And we have a variety of courses. We have courses for beginners. We have courses for people who are a bit more experienced. So perhaps you're thinking to yourself, well, what makes you the best person to help me with my project management journey? First of all, I would say is I know what it feels like to want to get into a role where you have built up experience, skill, knowledge, and you want to take all of that, bundle that all up and bring that into a new environment. I was there 10 years ago myself doing the very same thing. So I have a very good understanding and insight to what you're going through right now. I have an insight to what recruiters are looking for. I needed at that time to be taught the fundamentals of project management. I then needed to be rebranded. I needed to be coached, mentored, and prepared for my very first role. And I started that journey in 2013. And by the end of 2014, I was already in my first change manager role. So my role, although a change one, was still very much an entry one. Now, this was intentional. I purposely went for a role where I understood what the deliverables were, and I had a good sense of what I needed to deliver for my client. And so I worked from the bottom up. I had a good sense of what was happening tactical wise, then worked my way into strategic. See, what you're going to find coming into the project management environment, as the word indicates, management. You're coming in and you're managing a piece of work that has a level of complexity, has a level of risk. You'll be managing budgets. You'll be managing people. You're going to be managing relationships. There's a lot going on in that space. And so, and a lot of those elements are very strategic. All right. So what you want to do. So at PMO2DAY, what we will help you do is we will help you find the right role that has the right mix of all of that you can manage in this current state. And I'm still in the industry. It's one of the reasons why I still stay in the industry, so I can always be in a place where when the new initiatives are coming up, new best practices, new tools, new approaches, it just keeps you very sharp, keeps you in tune. And that's one of the main reasons why working with somebody like myself will really position you rightly for getting into your role. And of course, if I'm positioned in a place and the people that I work with are positioned in a place where they are still part of the industry and they're very much on the receiving end of everything that is coming out, then that means that you are paired up with people with hands-on knowledge. They have the past, they have the present, and they have a sense of what's coming in the future. and they can prepare you for all that you need to know in order to get that first role. I've worked with various project management professionals over the years now. I've been coaching and mentoring for at least 6 years now. And so I will be able to give you testimonials of the people I've worked with who have gone on to get roles, project management, various support roles, PMO roles, the works. And as a result of working with various clients over the years and very much being involved with tactical day-to-day operations in the project management environment, as well as working alongside leads that are very much responsible for strategic sides of project management, I have come up with a tried and tested approach when it comes to helping my clients come up with their own role. And as a result of that, I'm able to guide my clients on this journey of coming into the project management space. I'm able to coach them. I'm able to mentor them. I'm able to provide them with the right level of insight, skill sets, tools, templates, and really make that learning journey effective. And see, all of these elements are what makes myself and my company the right provider in terms of helping you get into these roles. Now, let me share with you why project management is a valuable skill set for almost any professional today. Change has become a part of our daily lives. A new piece of technology, a new practice comes along, a new regulation comes along, and all of a sudden what we used to know as day-to-day now needs to change over. So it's not only just project managers and change managers and program managers and product managers that need to have this skill set. In fact, it's many managers, many experienced professionals need to have a project management skill set. So let's look at some figures. According to the World Economic Forum, the jobs down here, there'll be a decreasing demand for them. As you can see, accounting and bookkeeping, accountants and auditors, assembly and factory workers. That's because most of these jobs, many companies are looking to use technology such as artificial intelligence, such as machine learning to replace all these jobs. Many organizations right now are on this tip of becoming more efficient. They want their people to be focused on the value add roles within their organization. And so even if you're someone senior in these areas, you really should have a transition plan into some of the areas that are up here. So now the thing about the areas that are up here, these areas, they are very much affiliated with change. So even if you are a data analyst, right? And you're in a situation whereby on a day-to-day basis, you are crunching figures. Now, if your organization is the kind of organization that renders this to other clients, whenever your clients come along, their piece of work is going to be a project. And so being able to understand how to slice and dice this work in such a way that you're managing it effectively, you're managing it systematically, you're managing it efficiently, project management is one of those skill sets going to help you do that. And so even if your plan is to get into one of these areas and to get a job as a project manager in one of these areas, you need at the very, very least 12 to 18 months of work experience. When a hiring manager wants to take on a data analyst, they want to get into a interview and listen to how you have managed at least 2, 3, or 4 projects successfully. They want to hear the problems. They want to hear how you dealt with them. They want to hear how you managed difficult people. These areas, they want to hear experience. Okay? And this is the future we're stepping into. And that's why project management as a profession, or even as a skill set, is crucial for any professional in the place of work today and the near future. Right, so now let me explain how we will walk you through this journey. We start off with an initial consultation. At the end of that initial consultation, what we want to be able to do is to be able to tell you whether or not you're best suited for a support role or you are ready for an actual project management role. We will look at your skills, we will look at your experience, and we will look at your knowledge. And we will, from our perspective, discuss with you where you are best suited to come into the project management environment. So we'll take you through our course. In our course and our other courses, we are going to share with you knowledge. There are some fundamentals about project management. And not only just project management. We've got project management, we've got program management, we've got product management. We've got change management. We've got the management of project management structures. So all of these we will take you through. We will introduce you to these concepts through our courses. Now, our courses embody the whole experience with PMO2DAY. So once you've gone through the course element, we will then take you through what we call the simulation. And the simulation is where you will taste what you've learned. That's where we will take you through an experience where you'll be able to apply what you've learned in the courses. You'll be able to apply that. You'll be able to have some hands-on application. And then when you finish with the simulation, we will now start to mentor you. And the mentoring is focused on having taken you through the course and the simulation, again, revisiting the plan that we had set out after your initial consultation. Is it still you're going for a support role? Are you still going for a management role? What area now that you've gone through the courses, what area of project management do you want to focus on? So we'll do that, and then we will then begin to prepare you for interviews for the areas of your choices. And interviewing is very much role playing. We take the role as an interviewer or hiring manager, and you will be obviously yourself answering the questions. Once we go through the session, we will then give you feedback and tell you the areas that you really need to hone on. Right, so I just want to give you an insight to the possibilities, and the possibilities in project management are quite vast. First of all, what you're looking at here is career paths. It's taken from the Axelos website. They are gurus in certifications, and essentially what they're trying to map out is the, should I say, arenas. So you've got project management, program management, portfolio management, project, program, portfolio, office management, and then you've got specialisms down here. Okay, so now with projects are very much focused on outputs. In comparison to program management and portfolio management, it's less complex. They have, when you're working within a project management type of environment, you're looking at using this particular approach to deliver smaller pieces of change. Okay, so just look at it this way. Say, for instance, you want to change the way a department works. You'd probably go with project management. You'd probably look at the people that are in the department. You'd look at the systems. You'd look at the templates, the documentation, and if you work in that department, it's very likely that you'd be able to handle all of that by yourself. Okay. Now, let's say you wanted to change an organization. First of all, you would have to look at it from a departmental point of view. You could look at it from a departmental point of view. You could look at HR, you could look at marketing, you could look at facilities, you could look at sales, you could look at information security, you could look at information technology, you could look at it from all of those aspects, right? And all of a sudden you realize that there's no way that I'm possibly going to know exactly what's going on in HR, exactly what is going on in IT, exactly what's going on in sales and marketing, and so on and so forth. Apart from not knowing, you're not going to split yourself into like 70 parts in order to deliver all of these areas. Okay, this is when you would now apply program management. And what you would do is you would look at sales, that would be a project. You'd look at facilities, would be a project. IT, the IT department would be a project, and so on and so forth. So that's the difference between project management and program management. You see, with programs, there's a focus on outcomes. So with projects, you're looking at very specific deliverables, very specific. They call them outputs. Okay, the specific things that you want to change in that department. But now, when you're thinking about changing this organization, you won't come at it from I want to change sales, I want to change sales, I want to change our information technology, and so on and so forth. No, what you're going to first of all do is you're going to take a step back and understand what vision you are trying to achieve. And then you will now look at all of these various parts of your organization and get people who are subject matter experts in those functions, and they will all now lead towards the vision that you're trying to create. And that's why programs are more focused on outcomes. There's a higher level of complexity. The timescales tend to be longer. Budgets tend to be bigger. The scope is less defined because now you're trying to change an organization. Okay, and how are you trying to change it? Are you trying to change it from a customer point of view, from a target point of view, from a more environmentally friendly type of view? All of these areas that I've mentioned are less tangible. It's almost as if you can't really pinpoint what that's going to look like. Because if, let's say, for instance, you were going to change the organization from an environment point of view, you could be well into your journey of aligning all of these different departments in such a way, and then new legislation comes out, new best practice comes out. There's a demonstration in one part of the world that has now influenced everybody's thinking around environmentally friendly organizations, and all of a sudden your journey has changed. Okay, so now you can begin to see the what you would need to become a project manager versus what you would need to be a program manager. Okay, and portfolios are looking at things from a strategic point of view. It's for an organization that has a number of different projects and programs and work streams and all sorts of things going on at the same time. And so what you want to do is you want to group like for like. And so the managers of portfolios, they are going to be very experienced in their own right. They're going to want to strategically group projects and programs in such a way that that particular portfolio of work, they will all be similar to one another. So let's say, for instance, there's a lot of change going on in the organization. Some of that changes around finance. Some of that changes around being environmentally friendly. Some of that changes repairing a public image. Okay, and let's say there's like 60 different projects and programs going on to do all of that. So what you want to do at one point is that you want to group like for like. Everything that relates to finance goes into finance. Everything that relates to environmentally friendly goes over there. And so now you'll have this portfolio lead who is trying to make sure that they are maximizing the return on investment. A lot of money and time and effort is going to be going into this portfolio. And so they want to make sure that if there's a portfolio of work that is focused on making the organization more environmentally friendly, they're all working together towards one goal. You know, we can't have a situation whereby we have, let's say, 10 different projects and one is pulling towards, you know, maybe generating energy in a more friendly way. Another is pulling towards generating energy, but it seems to contradict what the other one is doing. And so what you want to do is you want to group all of these projects and programs together. You want to see if there are some synergies there. You know, do we need 3 project managers when we can have just one program manager who understands the vision and is driving accordingly? Okay, now this gives you a sense of where you could be headed. Okay, you could be in the project management, in the program management, in the portfolio management arena and have a full-on career, and it could be quite diverse. For instance, if I look at my career, I started out in the FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods industry. Then I went into consulting and education. Then I went into transportation and logistics. Then I went into consulting. Then I went into marine and ports. And at some point, I was after marine and ports. Where did I go after that? I went into transportation and logistics again. And, you know, right now I'm in management consulting. Okay. And that's over the space of 10 years. All right. And I have specifically stayed within this area here. I've purposely stayed there. Okay. And so when you come alongside PMO today, we're going to help you explore these possibilities. We're going to help you explore these possibilities and see where you could fit in. Okay? But generally, when you come into project management, you could start out as a project coordinator. And essentially, you're coming alongside a project manager, a good one, hopefully, and you are supporting them. Okay? They are going to be very focused on delivering what you guys have signed up for, and you will do the necessary. So all the things that you are going to learn in our course is what you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis. And after being a project coordinator, you may then go on to be a project manager and then go on to be a senior project manager. Okay. Now, at some point, you know, if you spent enough time in a particular discipline, in a particular industry, you can then consider going into program management, because now what you're doing is you're going to be overseeing a number of projects altogether. Okay, you can start out as a program coordinator if you want to, or you can just go straight into program management if you're that good. You could become a program manager, and then very senior is a program director. Program director is very much senior management, CIO level. That particular role, you come into that role after a considerable amount of time delivering very complex, very significant types of transformations. And then, you can go into portfolio management, and when you think about it's going to be a mixture of projects, it's going to be a mixture of programs, you can see why it's featuring around here, because now you're going to be responsible for things at a very strategic level. You'll be responsible for delivery. You'll be responsible for quality. You'll be responsible for benefits. You'll be responsible for people, finances. Okay, and so you could start out as a portfolio manager here and then go on to a portfolio director. Now, this particular chart does not have it, but you could also come in as a portfolio analyst. And at that point, even though analysts, they are generally seen as entry level, you still have to be very experienced to be able to pull that off. And then we have the PMO space, and that is the management of project management or program management or portfolio management offices. So you come in as a coordinator. As an analyst, you're expected to be quite on top of things, expected to understand the various PMO services and to be able to support others while that's happening. And then after a point, you can then become a PMO manager. And then you have these specialisms here. Project planning is that ability to take a scope of work and guide your stakeholders along a path where they understand what their plan is and they're able to translate that into a schedule. Okay, you have the option to work in many industries such as construction, anything logistical that requires that really detailed in-look into schedules. That's what a project planner focuses on. Then we have business analysts. Business analysts are those people that they understand the business that they're in. Okay, they will come alongside a project manager and act as the voice of the business, of the people interfacing into that project. It's possible that you can have a project manager that has come into the organization and therefore they're not very fluent, they're not very versed into how things run in that organization. Organizations are very much about culture. They're about what we do and what we don't do. This is how we've always done things. Organizations are about people. Okay, and so what the business analyst does is that they understand the business, they understand the strategic goals, they understand the people, they understand the culture, the processes, the templates, they understand everything, and they will interface into that project and lend that voice, give guidance and steer the project and help steer the project, because it's the project manager's role to steer the project, help steer the project towards the delivery of quality outputs, the delivery of benefits, the delivery of value, because they understand the business and they will be that interface. Then you have risk analysts. They understand risk, they understand that environment, they understand that organization, and so you can become a risk analyst. We have project estimators. Now this, I don't see a lot of these around these days. But essentially, you're that person that you're coming in to slice and dice the scope of work and be able to really give a sense of what we're looking for in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of expertise, that sort of thing. But not a lot of these around these days. Benefit analyst. Now this doesn't tend to be a standalone role. Unless it's a very big piece of work, and the focus is to be able to ensure that not only are we delivering outputs and outcomes, but those outputs and outcomes will definitely result in benefits. It is very common to have organizations rolling out project upon project, program upon program, but there is no visible benefit. It's very common. Everybody automatically assumes that, when you deliver outcomes and you deliver outputs, that the benefits will just automatically pop out of thin air. No, they won't. Because generally when you are delivering a changed way of working, it takes time for the benefits to be realized. Okay, and so a lot of times you really see this as a standalone, but you can specialize in that because it's actually not very easy to ensure that your programs and projects will generate benefit. Okay, it needs, what tends to happen is the project team, they come along, they deliver the change. They're not always around to make sure that those changes translate into benefits. And so if you are in that organization and your organization is going through change and you have the ability, the expertise and the knowledge to manage outputs and outcomes that they become benefits, then that's going to be your bag. But generally a lot these days you don't see benefit analysts standing alone. It's incorporated into people's jobs. And then you have quality analysts. So it's one thing to deliver an output or an outcome. It's another for that output or outcome to be of high quality. So yes, in as much as I could deliver a changed way of marketing to customers, it could be as simple as, right, what we're going to do now is instead of having a contact center, we're going to place ads in a newspaper. That is marketing, but of what benefit is that? What's the quality of that? It depends on which channel I'm going for, which medium I'm going for. Am I going for newspaper? Am I going for magazines? Am I going for something digital? So that's when you begin to look at, a quality analyst. And again, that's another role that, excuse me, that's another role that doesn't stand alone. It could be incorporated in somebody else's job title. But in themselves, if you wanted to have those particular expertise, that would be great, because these are elements of project management that tend to be overlooked. Okay, so that's all that we're going to go through today. So just to summarize who we are, we've given you a sense of who we are at PMO2DAY. We are hands-on, we are professionals, we're experienced, we're knowledgeable, we've got the skill, we know where you are at today in this time of crucial decision making, and we are the best partners for you on this transformational journey. We are a good choice. We've explained why we believe we're a good choice. We've talked about our approach. Now, when you join us and you sign up, you're going to see how our approach differs a lot from a lot of approaches out there. Because what we're going to do is we're first of all going to set the scene. We're going to actually look at you as an individual and advise you as to where your entry point into project management can be. Now, we've also given you a sense of the project management professional environments. There's project management, program management, there's portfolio management, there's even product management these days. And then we have the various specialisms, and then we have the seniorities, the going up the ladder. Okay, so you've got all the various environments you can get in, and then you've got the various seniorities. And then we can also explore the world of IT project management, that's service project management. And we also have the whole arena of product management these days, and how the new, well, not so new, the agile ways of working are featuring in that industry. There's so much going on right now. And apart from all of that, you can then explore the nuances in the various industries. So project management, product management, project management, program management, portfolio management, the way they do that in the pharmaceutical industry is different from the way you do it in the construction industry. It's different from the way you do that in a corporate environment. It's different from if you were more working in a marketing agency. Okay, so much to explore. And then we looked at why project management is a good choice, all that I've mentioned so far. I mean, if I were in your shoes, I'd be, chomping at the bit to really get a sense of, where do I fit into all of these possibilities? Okay, so hopefully all of that has given you a sense of what to expect. Okay, so all you need to do now is just get in touch and let's get you going.